We're in Victoria for the fourth and final round of the 2006 Alphera Dutton Rally, where 150 drivers and co-drivers from all across Australia competed in 3 days of full throttle action. With the Victorian and National Championships on the line, competitors battled it out in an event where the lowest point score wins. Currently leading the stampede for the series are the 2005 champions Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur. Can Gazard Beaumont, Finnemore Sprangers or Cherry Ledger dethrone the favourites? Perth had the privilege of kicking off the 2006 Alphera Dutton Rally National Series in February, and in doing so made the series the largest in Australia and the Southern Hemisphere. New South Wales was next. A fierce field of over 90 cars, 150 plus competitors and some of the best driver facilities in the country were on offer for round 2. In Queensland, the competition really heated up as competitors battled the weather, witches' hats, plus the occasional water barrier, as the nation's fastest growing tarmac rally event put on a show worthy of any Gold Coast theme park. The day prior to the Victorian event, competitors travelled 180 kilometres north of Melbourne to Shepparton, the city centre of the Goulburn Valley. A major agricultural and food processing region, often referred to as the Food Bowl of Australia, Shepparton may seem an odd choice as host of the fourth and final round. But being home to some of the finest driving facilities in the state, it was a natural choice. Day 1, and drivers and co-drivers gathered for breakfast and the first mandatory event briefing that fortified them for what was sure to be a big first day. The field split in 2 for no less than 12 stages at 2 locations, Decker Training and the Shepparton Airport. Shepparton Airport is a major passenger and freight gateway into regional Australia. Hundreds of passengers passed through Shepparton Airport last year. Day 1, and competitors geared up to take flight with 3 events at this location. Western Australians Matt Cherry and Kim Ledger took out the team's championship at the Alphera Dutton Rally in Queensland earlier this year in an incident-packed weekend. The third rally in the series saw last year's series winners, Nataris and Arthur, pull out on day 1 with clutch problems. 2006 New South Wales winners, Berry and Newman, damaging their car on day 2 at a special stage. And then the leaders, Muller and Pittman, damaging a drive shaft just 2 stages from the finish. You could be forgiven for confusing Cherry and Ledger with Stephen Bradbury, but the truth is, they are 2 very accomplished drivers. Cherry, whose family owns the AHG Driving Centre in Perth, and Ledger, an automotive engineer, were stoked with the win, which now gives them a fighting chance to take out the National Series. But talking to them, you wouldn't know. So why the sudden lack of confidence?
Well, looking around the field, Glenn, I'm not going to say we're confident. I've said that before. I said it in Queensland, but, you know, amongst these guys, if we get back up in the top 10, like I've said before, we'll be pretty happy.
And the car that will take them there.
Yeah, the car's still basically an Evo 6, although it's a little bit of a hybrid because it has Evo 7, 8 and 9 components in it as well. But it's got about 290 kilowatts at the wheel, so it's quite a rapid bit of gear. We still run on the 98 fuel so that we can get around quite easily. And we've replaced drive shafts and a few other bits and pieces in it just to hopefully enhance the reliability.
So, they have the car. What about the strategy?
There is no plan, that's the plan. So just have a good time, watch the cars and have a giggle.
And laugh Matt might. He went on to score a 15.06 on his first run in the first event, completing the course in the second fastest time of the day. The course, a slalom, saw competitors navigate through marked gates in the shortest possible time, demonstrating agility and control. While the idea of ridiculing those relying on the addition of blow-off valves to distract onlookers from their lack of agility and control was appealing, some impressive times were reached. After 3 rounds of the Alphera Dutton Rally Series, last year's champions, Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur, have a commanding lead in the national team's event. But victory is not yet theirs to claim. That's because ex-New South Wales State Rally Champion David Finnemore, teamed with Sydney banker Chris Sprangers, have surprised everyone with their performance. And they're also in with a shot at the title. Or so we thought. But Dave and Chris weren't the only team in difficulty early on. Co-driver James Ward in a 1992 Nissan Skyline GTS went from a respectable 35th place to 70th when he killed 3 hats on his second run. From a standing start to a flying finish, the next event took competitors to the danger zone. The 800-metre sprint pitted the art of saving face against gaining pace.
3, 2, 1, go!
Warren Luff's past success in the Mitsubishi Mirage Series and V8 Utes, where he was a 2-time champion, has seen him elevated to the main game, the V8 Supercar Championship Series. So how does motorsport royalty, like Warren, prepare for an event like this?
Get on a plane, fly into Melbourne and get in the car and get here. There's not a lot of preparation that really needs to go into it. Obviously the guys at Ford have done a great job in just getting the car ready and all that sort of stuff, so it was nice and easy for me. I just flew in, got picked up and we drove up here.
Next, a chance for competitors to try their hand, or hand brakes, at a bootlegger's hairpin, where the key word for some was to try. It's one thing to cop some cone carnage in these events, quite another to take out the timing equipment. So what does Kim have to say for himself?
I was just trying to enter it backwards, right? It was just something different. You asked me to do something different. I thought I'd try to come in reverse.
It's not the way you should enter them though, you know that. Established in 1970 as a community project, DECA Training has a history in driver training and road safety awareness. Making their own history, competitors battled 6 events, 2 auto tests and a motorcana at this location. Canberra's Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur were the conquering kings at the 2005 Alphera Dutton Rally, winning all 3 rounds and taking out the National Series. Whilst they drove flawlessly throughout the 2005 competition, 2006 has seen Nataris and Arthur struggle, which, considering the opposition, is not surprising.
The events are getting bigger and bigger and it's getting harder and harder to win these events. So you just look at the class of cars that are here and the class of drivers. I mean, you've got ex-V8 supercar drivers, you've got ex-rally champions, and you got the mix is very, very good.
Back again in their customised White Line Evo 8 RS, what can we expect from them this weekend?
Get home and take out all the drivers, co-driver and drivers championships.
And what about the teams championship?
That as well.
So you're basically greedy.
Oh, yeah. I want more trophies. My wife hates them, but yeah, I want the $10 plastic.
Does that justify the expense?
No.
Validating or not, the boys were well on their way to yet another trophy. Co-driver Simon Arthur placed first with a 44.09 on this tricky Motorcana. Utilising Decker Training's huge skid pan, all 1.6 hectares of it, competitors put pedal to the metal in this exciting Motorcana. Listen to that baby purr. What does this 2003 HSV Club Sport R8 have that a V8 supercar doesn't? According to its owner, Mark Siemens, not much.
400 cubic inch, 6-speed sequential Hollinger, 9-inch Harrop rear end, air jacks, Motec dash, data logging, basically everything you could look for in a V8 supercar, but in a road registered sedan.
Why did you put it together?
I bought it as a family car, mate, and this is what happened.
What's it like, the car?
It's just an absolute weapon. Like, my vocabulary doesn't have words in it for it. Like, it's just an amazing car.
Not necessarily the fastest way to get around, but definitely the most fun. Mark Tierney, in his 1965 Ford Mustang, put this old girl through her paces. Adam Newton, one of the driving forces behind the development of drifting in Australia, applied the same techniques he uses for competition drifting here with the following results. So far in 2006, a different team has won each of the first 3 rounds. Greg Muller and David Pittman have their work cut out for them with stiff competition on this rally. We last saw the boys in Queensland, where they dropped from 2nd to 6th after mechanical problems in the last round. How did it all go wrong?
Well, it broke, and it was one of those things that I didn't want it to break when I was driving it, but it did. It just let go and the centre diff flew up on the line.
Now, I know you're getting over it, Greg, but what position were you at that stage?
I think we were running second out, right, so yeah, I think we weren't going to win it, but second was better than whatever, 6th or whatever we ended up with. So it's motor racing.
Now the boys are back, but are they already in trouble?
I've stuffed up this Motorcana here, which I thought might be costly, but having seen everyone else stuff it up, doesn't make any difference now, so it's not that costly. If everybody stuffs it up, everybody wins. That's how it works.
How do you rationalise that?
You don't. Just go out there and drive.
Good advice. And for the next event, that's what most of the competitors did. Except co-driver Dean Taylor, who came to a halt when his 200SX failed to proceed.
Well, just stopped on me actually. Not much you can do about that. I'd like to say more, but I'm not a mechanic, so I can't tell you anymore.
So no ideas?
Nah, but it's the first day, so I'm pretty angry on the inside, smiling on the outside.
Bad news for Dean, but the show must go on. Co-driver Kurt Stiles in the 1990 turbocharged Mazda MX-5 agreed, placing 12th on his first run with a 1 minute and 4.9 seconds. Racing since 1990 with 10 Bathurst appearances to his credit, Peter Gazzard teams up with Jeff Beaumont, who also has a ton of rally experience. Day one, and their plans to annihilate competition with their weapon of an Evo seem to be working. Top 5 finishes for both the boys on this run secured the lead for Pete and Jeff at this point. Despite his best efforts, Dominic Vitano was struggling to make it into the top 40 in his 2006 Mitsubishi Evo 9. But co-driver Mario Calabria made it look easy, finishing top 10 on both runs. Motoring journo Mike Sinclair teamed up with rally expert Paul Stokel in a 2006 Mini Cooper S John Cooper Works.
Gentlemen, this is an awesome team you've got here, Sinkers.
Well, it is. It's the dream team, basically. Paul's come in to really show us what to do. The only problem we've got is trying to find a seat that fits both of us.
So what can we expect from the boys this weekend, performance-wise?
I think Paul needs to be in the top 3, and I think as a co-driver to back him up, I should be somewhere about 80th, 85th.
Pressure's on you now, Paul.
I can't believe I'm talking to another motoring journalist, another event, and talking the same rubbish about me being top 3. Anyway, yeah, we'll try.
Good, he said he'd speak rubbish.
Sinkers should have known better than to call names, especially after this little mishap. At least the locals were impressed. The final event for the day gave the Serious Trophy contenders a chance to claim what little points they could. Scott Muir's 2005 FPV F6 Typhoon created cone carnage, proving that this tight auto test was better suited to the smaller vehicles. Attesting to that fact was Mark O'Connor's 2004 Lotus Exige, which finished first with a very quick 22.69 seconds. Dean Taylor and his 200SX got back on track, thanks to the kindness of strangers.
That was pretty short-lived. We felt sorry for you for a while there.
Oh, it's alright. Maybe I should be a mechanic after all. I don't know. A bit of help from a few friends. A bit of a fuse blown, that's all it was. So I'm back. No getting rid of me.
You happy now?
Yeah, very. Made my day. Hit the pub tonight and we'll be on high spirits.
The Dutton Rally was originally designed as an event to encourage people from Melbourne to Adelaide for the Formula One Grand Prix. Now the Duttons is an event in its own right, and a national series spanning 4 states, with the Dutton family in 2006 still a series sponsor with DuttonDirect.com.
Well, Dutton Direct we launched as an enthusiast website, as a classified site for cars and boats and property, and now we've got aircraft and we're launching lifestyle soon. But it was just that we found a need in the marketplace. It was a sort of a niche that wasn't catered for. So I designed a website that was going to be accommodating for all walks of life in all different categories.
With 12 events run, it was time to gather at Cellar 47, where competitors celebrated the true meaning of the Alphera Dutton Rally. At the end of a massive day one, Mitsubishi's flooded the top 5 with Greg Muller and David Pittman in the Evo 8 RS, happy in 5th. David Finnemore and Chris Sprangers in another Evo in 4th. Father and son team Ernie and Andrew Fuller finished 3rd, while John Caius and Matthew Coleman in a 2006 Nissan Skyline GTR finished 2nd. And in 1st place were Peter Gazzard and Jeff Beaumont in the Evo 9. Stay tuned, as after the break we bring you all the action from day 2 of the Alphera Dutton Rally Series.